good afternoon. At least it's afternoon for me. Thanks for coming back to my channel. I have a special request today. I am going to do a tarot reading, but first I have kind of an urgent request. It's for me. I will do requests for anybody who needs them as I'm aware of them. But if you've watched any of my videos up to this point, you know that I have been getting psychically attacked by somebody who's alive. It's a living person. And I know his name now. He identified himself to me yesterday while I was trying to pull oracle cards. And he identified himself in a little bit of a threatening way. So needless to say, I don't know the next month. I'm not really sure what kind of reading or videos I'll be able to do for the next month because this person has been getting stronger, and I had to go to the New Age store down the road, and I have a plan of attack, but that plan of attack and that I don't even like to call it a plan of attack. It's just a plan to get rid of this thing. But it does require me to put my pendulums away and my cards because he is now interfering with my ability to pull cards. As an example, when I was pulling cards on Donald Trump the other night, he pulled the victory card for Donald Trump and how all this is going to end for him. And I'm like, no, I already know it's not going to end in a victory for Donald Trump. So once I cleared this guy out and I got Archangel Michael back. I asked, and I call him XO, even though I know his real name now, I'm just going to call him XO. Hugs and kisses is how he usually signs off until yesterday. So his name is XO for now. Anyway, I asked Michael if that card was chosen by XO, and he said, yep. And then Michael gave me the correct card. But this reading that I'm going to do today, just so you'll know what's coming up, I actually did this reading about 3 days ago, and I haven't been able to finish it because of the interference I was getting from XO. And it's a pretty significant reading. It is another reading on how Trump and Epstein are related, but I also got a reading on a timeline. Michael wanted me to pull cards for a timeline for the next 7 weeks. I actually ended up pulling out 10 weeks. And the problem was that because XO interfered, I couldn't use my pendulum to help me identify exactly what these cards mean. I've had to rely on my intuition. I have read tarot cards intuitively before, and done so successfully. So I'm just going to go on my intuition for these and give you what I picked up from those without using my pendulum. Okay. First of all, though, I need your help. One of the oracle cards that Michael was able to pull for me yesterday before XO interfered suggested that I need to start asking for help, that I cannot do all of this alone. I have a history of trying to do things by myself and not asking for help. And one of the things that Archangel Michael has been trying to teach me, apparently, is that I need to ask for help, and that I can't do everything on my own. This is a team effort. We're all connected. And that's something that as this channel goes along and my videos continue to build, you're going to learn that we as a human race are all connected. Every single one of us on this planet is connected. Even Donald Trump and I are connected. And even Donald Trump and you are connected. And this is why in the time of Atlantis, they all knew this. And their thinking in the time of Atlantis was, I can't hurt you because if I hurt you, I hurt me. We'll talk about that again in another video. Okay. So the point is, I need to start asking for help from the Earth tribe, from all of you. And please, if you could just take 5 to 10 seconds, maybe 30 seconds at most, I'm going to read something. And if you could just even close your eyes and repeat it to yourself as I read it, that I would be so grateful if you could do this for me. It would really help. I think it would really help me to get some protection from XO. If you know other people that you want to share this message with and ask them to please come in and help me, I would so appreciate that. I'm not looking for you to go like our channel. This is not a ploy to get people to like and follow my channel. this is a ploy. It's not even a ploy. It's a cry for help. It's a call for help because I cannot do this by myself and I really, really need you. Okay. So if you don't want to read along with this, and if you've got your own way of communicating with the angels and with the guardian angels, the ascended masters, then and if you think you've got a better, more powerful way to help me than what I'm going to read, you go for it. I'm not going to stop you. If you have more powerful friends than I am, people who are energy healers, which I do have a message out to an energy healer, and I'm waiting to hear back from her with some more information. She might be able to help me as well. Again, if you know somebody like that, please call them in. I need the help. Okay. Okay. So here's what, if you can just take a moment, think this to yourself or just repeat it back later. This is what I'm asking you to just do for me, please. Say to yourself or say out loud if you're able to, Ascended Masters and Archangel Michael, please surround Jennifer with love, light, blessings, and the protective light of God so that no bad energy can get through and she's fully protected against all psychic attacks. Archangel Michael in particular, please cut all energy cords between Jennifer and XO. And I just got in my mind to say, it is done. So if you can repeat that, that would be fabulous. If you can do that 3 times, it would be fabulous. Anything you can do to help me cut this cord and cut this energy with XO, I would greatly appreciate. Okay? Thank you. All right. So let's move on to this reading. And if you have questions, I'm not really good right now at getting into the comments. I've got so much going on right now between my writing career and this, and then trying to fend off XO that, and learning this new technology, because this for me is new technology, that I may not be Johnny on the spot when you comment, and it might take me a week to reply to you. Go, oh, I didn't even know you sent me a message. So this is the reading that I did on July 9th. So it is the 11th today, I think. So it's just, a couple of days ago. It really was, in timeline, I think it's more like 3 days in the number of hours. So again, Epstein and Trump, the connection between them. All of what I'm getting ready to tell you, I was able to get confirmation through my pendulum. And then when I do the timeline, that's when things got a little wonky. All right, and I know I did an Epstein video already, and I don't know why, but Michael wanted me to do another one. And the information, some of it's similar, some of it's a little new. It's just, I think, more of a confirmation than anything. But the first card I got, here's the reading. I'm going to show you, and then I'll bring this back up. This is the full Celtic cross. Up here is the final outcome card. And these are the cards that I'm using for the timeline. I do use the Tarot of Dreams deck by Cyril Marchetti. It just seems to identify and connect with me very well. Okay, so the first card in the center was the 5 of Coins, and the crossing card was the Wheel of Fortune. And typically I would read these 2 cards separately, but for the second reading in a row, Michael wanted me to read them together. And the message of these 2 cards is the karmic bill has come due. The Wheel of Fortune typically has something to do with karma, fate. It's a clock. You'll hear some people, TikTok, Black and Orange does that. I love Black and Orange. She's so funny and so entertaining when she reads tarot. If you haven't heard of her, go find her. Black and Orange, just a delight to watch her videos. She can really make you laugh. But she'll say TikTok, TikTok, and if you look at this, there is an aspect of a clock here. And what is karma? I mean, karma is just, karma is related to time. Karma, what goes around comes around, like on a clock face. Okay. I have a couple of cats who decided that they want to fight, so just bear with me. You might hear some hissing and growling in the background. This card is typically called the Out in the Cold card. Okay, so I'm not getting out in the cold. I'm focusing on the money here, and the fact that these 2 come up together is, hey, it's time for karma to come due, baby. Trump, you got to pay up. It's time to pay the karmic debt. This is his karma. It is our karma. It is fate. What's happening now is fate. And I can't help but to think when I look at this, these are the people who've been left out in the cold. These are the victims of these crimes that Jeffrey Epstein has committed and that Trump has committed with him. And I don't care. I mean, they're like, oh, the people are saying Trump hasn't been convicted yet. Really? The guy is friends. He has a history of being friends with pedophiles. All right. You can go through and he's got 5 of them. He's got you can look at his past and you know he likes young women. He's glorified Epstein for being into young women. It's just common sense. For people to say, oh, he's not guilty of anything. Yeah. Common sense. People, use your brain. He is. I mean, he's actually admitted that he can't be faithful to his wife. He's openly admitted that he cannot be faithful to any wife, to any woman, and that he loves sex. He's admitted that. Sorry, I said the sex word. I'm trying so hard not to be so graphically, but when you're talking about this topic, it's some of these words are just a little hard to avoid. Okay, so this is the victims, and they're finally getting their day in court, and the karma is finally coming due for them as well. They're finally getting their karmic comeuppance. Okay? Now, below the reading is Page of Wands. Oh, wait a minute, there's more. I'm sorry. I got 5 of Pentacles. Trump gained. That's another reason why this card came up. Trump gained financially from these trafficked girls. They were also used for money laundering purposes. Trump Modeling Agency, because he did have a modeling agency for a while, and I think he opened that modeling agency while he was friends with Jeff Epstein and had a good relationship with the guy. Trump Modeling Agency was involved in this money laundering and financial gain that he got from these trafficked girls. And there's a financial trail that connects Trump to these girls. David Johnson did a reading this morning, and something that he said in his reading kind of stuck out to me, that there's a piece of paper somewhere that's kind of hidden in a pile of papers, and it's going to show there's a connection. And I think he was referring to Donald Trump when he said that there's a paper, there's some sort of a paper trail somewhere that is going to be discovered tying Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein and these trafficked girls. And I'm sure it's going to reveal there was some financial gain from that as well. Okay, under the reading is the Page of Wands. We talked about this in the last reading. This is the son or daughter of Donald Trump, who he fathered with an underage girl. This child will be coming forward one way or another to reveal the truth. Whether this was a child who was, how I put this, aborted, because Donald Trump, it's been suggested, did pay some of his mistresses to get abortions. This could be a child who was aborted, and the evidence of that abortion is going to come forward. Or it could be an actual living child that will step forward and speak their own truth to what they know and be able to provide this DNA evidence that, yeah, I'm Trump's son or daughter. And that's not the only time that this comes up in this reading, okay? In the past, we have Emperor Trump, and that's what this is. This is the Emperor card in this deck. This is basically saying that in the past, he was a dictator, he was an emperor, that was what he wanted. There's all his gold. He had everything, and he could pay for everything, and he could pay people to be quiet. He had all this power. This is the city, and he's lording over this entire city. I have the power. Well, that's in the past. That's not the case anymore. Wait till you see the future card. Over the reading is the High Priestess. in this case, sometimes the high priestess is the secrets being revealed, and it's the case here. I think this card also with this moon is indicating the full moon, the eclipse that's coming next week. I mean, we're less than a week away from this eclipse, this lunar eclipse. And this is going to be a huge turning point in this administration and in our lives, everybody's lives. It's literally going to just flip. So watch. I mean, again, I'm not an astrologer, but following astrology and then getting the messages that I've been getting from my pendulum, that lunar eclipse coming next week is going to be huge, and it's going to mark a turning point for this presidency and for this country and for the world. What was once up is now going to be down, and what was down is now going to go up. Just wait. It's going to happen. Okay? I sound like Trump. Just wait. It's going to happen. Oh, don't let me ever do that again. The rise, this card is saying the rise of the divine feminine is here to reveal the secrets Trump has kept hidden, particularly after the lunar eclipse on the 16th. Okay, that's exactly what I was just mentioning. This card also signifies the women who were abused when they were underage being supported now by the divine feminine. So these victims are now being supported by a higher power, by all of this light and love pouring into this planet right now from source, from spirit. And you're starting to hear more and more people talk about that. I mean, you hear David Johnson talking about it. I've heard, I believe Linda G talk about it. I've also heard Revealing Light Tarot, I think, mention it. I've heard, but I've heard other readers talking about how right now we're at a point where we're just being downloaded with light from spirit, and that we are coming into a new era. And I'm not going to go so far as to say it's the age of Aquarius, but it's a new area. It's the rise of Atlantis. And I plan on doing a whole nother video about the whole Atlantis and Armageddon thing. We're not going to get into that here, but it's Atlantis. We're just going to say here, it's Atlantis rising. All this light coming in is Atlantis rising. You know, some island is not going to come flying up out of the ocean. It's light and love coming down from the universe, and bringing that awareness to the entire planet, not just a small little part of it. Okay? The near future, which is 4 to 6 weeks from now, this card is typically the Hierophant. And in this deck, it's called Faith. But what I'm getting from this card has nothing to do with faith or the government or institutions. What got me was this man and the way he's almost like supplicating himself, like asking for forgiveness, prayer. Trump will beg for forgiveness, and this is 4 to 6 weeks. He is going to beg for forgiveness in one way, shape, or form or another. I don't see Trump actually begging for anything, but in his mind, he might be thinking, I'm begging for forgiveness. But on the outside, he may just be saying, I'm sorry. Because, that's how he is. Trump is going to beg for forgiveness. What I kind of picked up was in my mind was he's saying something to the effect of, I was young and I did stupid things and I'm sorry, or something to the effect of, I didn't do those things. I would never do something like that. Either way it goes, whether he comes out and he owns it and says, I'm really sorry for the stupid crap that I did when I was younger, because it's really stopped. We all know that the stupid crap that he did when he was younger is the stupid crap he does now that he's older. Or he comes out and he tries to deny that he ever did any of these things. It's just the way I think he's going to go about it. No one's going to buy it. He's going to throw himself at what came to my mind when I saw this card was he's going to throw himself to the mercy of the court at one point. But in 4 to 6 weeks, I think we're going to hear some sort of apology, a Trumpian apology, the way he does apologize, which is normally to scapegoat or throw blame elsewhere. I think we're going to hear that in 4 to 6 weeks over what's going on with the whole Epstein thing. Excuse me, that's my Indianapolis Colts cup. I do live in the Indianapolis area, and I am a Colts fan. I'm sorry if you're a Patriots fan. Please don't hold that against me for being a Colts fan. I won't hold it against you for being a Patriots fan. All right. The Self. This is the card that I refer to as the Self. We have the Seven of Swords. This came up in my last reading. And it kind of means the same thing here. It says Donald Trump stole these girls' innocence. The innocence of these girls and Jeffrey Epstein. But this reading is more about Donald Trump than it is about Epstein. The last reading was more about Epstein. Okay, this one's more about Donald Trump. That's kind of the big difference between the two. He is doing everything he can to keep his involvement a secret. He's trying to make an arrangement with other countries to flee the United States and take, not exile, but hide out there. He's calling everyone else who was involved with what was going on with these little girls, and he is threatening and bribing them any way he can. That's what that's what I got from this card through my pendulum before EXO interfered. What he's saying is, don't you dare tell anyone I was involved. You keep your mouth shut. So he's issuing threats and bribes, and he's trying to find a way out to keep from being prosecuted. And that's what this card, the Seven of Swords, is saying. That not only did he steal these girls' innocence, but he's going to try to run and get away with it like a coward rather than face the music and face his crimes that he's gotten away with. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. There's one more thing here. This card that I have for the near future, this is also his supporters asking forgiveness for supporting such a monster. A lot of his supporters in 4 to 6 weeks are going to be going, oh my God, I had no idea. I am so sorry for supporting this guy. If I had known, I never would have supported him. So we're going to see a lot of his supporters turn their backs on him. These are supporters that are both within the Senate and the House, but also just your everyday out in the world supporters that have been thumping their fists in the air, all in support of Trump. Okay, we're gonna start seeing a huge turnaround with people saying, oh, please, I'm so sorry. Whether they say it outwardly to you or just pray to the gods above that they pray to, I am so sorry. That's what these supporters are going to be doing. I'm so sorry, God. If I had known, I never would have. Well, if you had opened your eyes, you would have known, because a lot of us already saw it 3 years ago. Where were you people? I'm sorry, I've got to be compassionate. More people, not everybody is as evolved as everybody else, and they have to find out in their own time. They've got their own purpose. Okay, in the environment, this is a really hard card to show. And I think it's obvious why it's a hard card to show. It's the Six of Cups. It represents the underage girls who are abused. They are in the environment. But this card also represents the children, the immigrant children. And it's this little boy right here. This card represents the immigrant children because they have been trafficked too. And they have been abused. A report just came out that there's another one of these detention camps in Arizona, I believe it is Yuma, Arizona, where a little girl finally came forward and told investigators, I don't know what the word is, court liaison or somebody that comes in and checks on the status of these kids, that she had been sexually handled in front of other people, other detainees, and other border patrol agents. And this had happened to her and had been done to her by a border patrol agent. It was on the Rachel Maddow show a few nights ago, and I'm not going to go into the details of it, but these children are being inappropriately touched at these camps, at these centers. I'm really trying hard not to say the word concentration when I refer to them as camps. But because that's kind of what these are, in my opinion, and people can disagree with me all they want on that. But I have read books about what happened in Nazi Germany, from accounts from people who were inside these camps, and except for the fact that these people aren't being flat out, burned yet. The conditions are very similar to what I have read about the conditions regarding food and treatment, living quarters, you name it. Very similar. The other thing to note about this trafficking is that, and did I mention this in my last video? I don't remember. That a bunch of girls have gone missing from the center in Florida where John Kelly is apparently in charge. John Kelly, if you watch any other readers, you know that he's not a really good guy either. But they said that all of these girls just vanished. Teenage girls from this one center in Florida. Just, they're there one day and then they're just gone. And they look over the fences and they're like, they don't see any teenage girls. Where did they go? And they can't get answers. And I can't remember who it was, but one of these readers that I read on, I think it was David Johnson, said that they had been trafficked to Russia. That what he saw was that Putin was involved and they've been trafficked. And was it him? Oh gosh, somebody, whoever was, said only the pretty ones. Who was that said that? I can't remember. Maybe you know, maybe you watched that video, but they said it was only the pretty ones who were taken, which was most of them. Okay, hurry along here. The fine hopes and fears. This is the Queen of Cups. Here she is again. She just keeps coming up. Queen of Cups. This indicates Trump's fear is that all of these women are going to come forward and that people will believe them. In David Johnson's video today, I believe it was he who said that that one woman's gonna come forward, then another, then another, then another, and if it was one or two, people could blow it off. Oh, she's just lying, trying to make me famous. You get 3 or 4, you can't blow that off anymore. It's just people trying to be famous. And we've already got, 22, 23 women who've made allegations against him about inappropriate behavior and conduct. When are the supporters? I mean, really? When are you guys going to wake up? When are the supporters going to wake up? I mean, this guy's a monster. And he hasn't even tried to hide it. And yet, Trump. Okay, final outcome card. This is a second child. Remember we had this one. Well, this is the second one. A second child, and I'm pretty sure this card came up in my last reading, or one of the ones I've done already. A second child that he has fathered with an underage girl coming forward. So that's what this card is indicating. I got one clarifier on it, which is the 8 of Swords. If you've been following anybody who does tarot for any length of time, you know that the 8 of Swords is kind of an imprisonment card, usually a self-imprisonment. It indicates that you're constrained in some way that's hard to get out of for you up here, but if you just knew how to navigate, you could get out of it, kind of a thing. Well, every card has multiple meanings. That's just one meaning of the 8 of Swords. In this particular reading, this clarifier represents that it's the children Trump fathered with these underage girls that will do him in. Again, I don't know what that means, but that was what I got. It's the children that Trump fathered with these underage girls that are going to do him in. He won't be able to refute their claims because of the DNA evidence that will support that he is the father, and that when they subtract the age of the child and from the mother's age and all this, they'll find out that when she got pregnant with the baby, she was underage. There's no way you can. There's no counter argument for that. You can't. There's no way you can say, oh, they're just lying. There's DNA, dude, and age doesn't lie. So that's what I got. The timeline, and I'm running long again. but I'm going to whip through this timeline. Remember, this timeline that I have is, I had to just do this intuitively. I could not rely on my pendulum to help me get the information about these cards. But I'm usually pretty good about intuitively picking up on what they mean. So it's very rare that my pendulum makes me dig deeper for more information. So this is interesting. Here's the cards. I have 10 weeks. This is week 1, which is actually for this week. So this card is for the week of next week, which starts on July 15th. So we're almost through this card right here. Okay. And then this is 10 weeks from now. Real quick, let's just whip through this, shall we? This week, 9 of Wands. This is a timeline for what's going to be going on in Donald Trump's world for the next 10 weeks. 1 card, 1 week. So 10 weeks, 10 cards, you know how it goes. This is court cases piling up. It's becoming hard for him to keep them straight and defend against all of them. He's getting battle weary. All of these wands back here, these are all the court cases, and it's just like, and this is him sitting here holding this helmet, and this, like, how many more are there going to be? And after a while, it becomes really hard to keep all of this straight. You know, you've lied over here about this, you've lied about this, you've told this lie about this case. Now you've told this lie about this case, and this lie about this case, and this lie about that case. Because we all know that when he opens his mouth, he lies. And after a while, it starts to become really hard to remember what you lied about where. And then you might slip up and let something out, like Alexander Acosta did when he gave information. Did you watch Rachel Maddow last night? Acosta comes out and he defends what he did with Epstein, over a decade ago, giving him this illegal plea deal that he didn't run by these victims in Florida, and these 30 some odd victims. And then the information that he turned over to support his defense ended up incriminating him even more. So it's kind of like, after a while, the lies just start to pile up. And apparently Acosta's not very good at keeping track of his lies, or where he kept record of those lies and didn't, because he turned over information that implied that he was even more, that he had done something even more illegal, and then he knew he was doing it, when what he was trying to do was say, I didn't know what I was doing was anything wrong. I thought I was being the hero. If you haven't watched Rachel Maddow, go find her A block for yesterday's show, July 10th. And it's just, you just kind of sit back and go, okay. All right, this is next week. The 3 of Swords. We all know this is the heartbreak card. This is 3 swords. Typically, you see 3 swords stabbing through a heart on your traditional Rider-Waite deck. This case, there's a tear falling down this woman's face. And what I got, surprisingly enough, with this was, I got Melania. I was like, I just put some choppy words that came to me. I wrote them down. Loss. Melania. A loss is coming next week. Something that affects Melania. And I don't know if she was part of this. I don't know if she was somehow involved as a victim herself at one point, or if she's aware, if she knows about this and she's going to be implicated. I don't know. I just was picking up Melania. So I guess next week, I don't know if we'll hear about this in the news or what, but I'm just picking up that something is going to really hit her hard next week. And we'll just leave it at that. This is the week after Temperance. This is the week of July 22nd. And what I'm picking up from this is more information about Trump's involvement with Epstein will surface. And the eclipse is going to bring something to light. Now remember, the eclipse is next week. The week after, I was picking up that eclipse is really going to start becoming evident the week after next. The changes that are going to happen are going to really become evident week after next. And we're going to start seeing balance returning, where, again, what What once was up will be down. What was once down will be up. And it's going to be, what the flip is going to bring balance. Okay, temperance. This is the week of, whoops, I don't have the date written down. Give me a moment. July 29th, the Hermit. Trump is increasingly isolated and losing support. And this goes right along with my reading with the guy that was in the faith card. Supporters, this is 4 weeks from now. And that near future card was 4 to 6 weeks. And this goes right in line with that. He's losing support. He's finding himself increasingly alone with few people in his corner to back him up. I have a feeling that in a month's time, we're really going to see a different type of Donald Trump and a different type of support for him, a smaller, dwindling support for him. Okay. I also got for that card, he's going to grow old in jail. I mean, he's already in his 70s. Maybe he'll spend the rest of his life there in jail. I don't know. For a long time, I didn't see him going to jail, and now I'm seeing it, and everybody else is seeing it too. And for the first year of his presidency, people were like, I don't see him going to jail. And now everybody's like, I see him going to jail. I see him in handcuffs. Don't wish that on him. Nobody, please don't pour into that bad karma for yourself. This is the week of August 5th, 8 of Wands. This is things hitting hard, fast, and in a coordinated effort. Okay? More subpoenas, more victims coming forward, more court cases, more indictments. The week of August 5th, it's going to be more. And it's going to be hard and fast and a lot of it. Okay? I think the week of August 5th is going to be really rough. Because the following week, the week of August 12th, is the Hanged Man for Donald Trump. He is strung up. He is helpless. There's not much he can do. His hands are tied. He is at the mercy of the court, which is what we said in the reading. He's going to throw himself at the mercy of the court, and that's where he's going to be. He's seeing things from a whole new, scarier perspective, and he knows this is not going to end well. That's mid-August. Okay? The week of August 19th is the Strength card. Here we go with these women and the Divine Feminine. The calm, steady efforts of these women who were victimized is going to finally get justice for what was done to them. It's finally, they've been holding tight and being quiet and strong and calm and pushing forward all these years. And I believe that this week, August 19th, they're finally going to start seeing this justice being served that they've been denied for so long. Now, those are the 7 cards that Michael originally wanted me to pull. I asked him if he wouldn't mind if I pulled 3 more, and I got that he wouldn't mind, so I pulled 3 more. And I got that the week of, I didn't write the dates down because they were extra cards. I'm sorry, but it's the week after August 19th. So we're talking like the end of August. 6 of Coins. Trump is going to have to pay the price. He's going to have to pay. One way or another, he's going to have to pay the price for what he's done. And I have a feeling there's some financial stuff involved with this as well, because they haven't stopped digging into his finances either. The next week is the Ace of Cups. This is new emotional beginnings. Happiness and celebration for some, misery and despair for others. And last but not least, in the 10 weeks from now, I got the Lover's card. And the first thing that came to my mind was Melania is divorcing Trump and she's going back to her lover, who I believe she wanted to stay. She was, from what I gather and from what I've heard from other readers and through news reports, is that she has a lover that she did not want to leave in New York, that she was actually prepared to divorce Donald Trump for before he got elected. And when he got elected president, he kind of ruined all that. And she had to stay married to him. And this is just this is just kind of what I heard. I don't know if this is true or not, but this card coming forward the way it does makes me think it might be true. But this is, I see her with her lover again. I see her leaving Trump, and I see this is her and her lover finally getting back together again. and Trump is no longer in the picture. There's been a goodbye. I see that there's been a goodbye said here and a reunion with somebody else on Melania's part. I also see the relationship and partnership between Trump and Putin being exposed through this card. I even think that Putin and it's going to come to an end. And I believe that Putin is going to release compromise that he has on Trump. I think that that's going to be kind of like how it ends. It's like, okay, you're done. You can't help me anymore, Trump. And I think he's got evidence. I think he has video of Trump with these young girls. And I think that'll be released. Okay, so I've gone long again. So I appreciate you sticking with me. I appreciate you asking Ascended Masters and Archangel Michael to help protect me against XO. And I don't know when I'll be able to do more videos. I'm going to have to play it by ear. If XO is still hanging around, I'm going to have to just wait because he is affecting my ability to pick cards and use my pendulum. But I do want to do a video on Atlantis and on Armageddon. Probably do 2 separate videos. So stick around for that later. We'll see when that comes about. All right. Thank you so much. I'm sorry for the long video again, but I appreciate you sticking with me. Have a lovely day and love and blessings to you.